Hello, my name is John Martin. I'm talking to you from Hilscher Communications from our North American sales office here near Chicago, Illinois. This is the first in a series of videos that we've prepared to introduce you to our newest embedded product, the netX 90 network controller. The netX 90 is a complete system on a chip that includes both a host processor and a communications processor in one integrated circuit. We hope that you will find these videos instructive. We hope that they give you an in-depth knowledge of the part that will prepare you for a very rapid implementation of the netX 90 in your next product or application.
We will begin our examination of the netX 90 with a brief introduction into the history of the netX family. By that we mean the parts and the architecture and the ecosystem of hardware, software, and services that will support your netX development. Let's talk about the agenda of what we'll cover in this video. First, we'll look into a brief history and family roadmap of the netX family of devices. We'll do this to try to give context to the development of the netX 90 and the history that it comes from. We'll also look at the ecosystem of services and hardware and software that's available to support your netX 90 development. We will also take a look at the use cases, the different ways in which the netX 90 is used by our customers, and it will show the flexibility of the part. We will take a quick look at the evaluation board and the accessories that make up the hardware platform that allows you to develop software while you're in the process of developing your own hardware. And finally, we will look at the support and services that are made available by Hilscher to support your development. First of all, what do we mean by netX? netX refers to an integrated semiconductor platform developed by Hilscher Communications about 15 years ago. It was designed to provide a common hardware platform that would support any industrial protocol within the automation context. It achieves this goal by using many ARM processors operating concurrently to support the flexibility and complexity required by any arbitrary deterministic network. Like Apple Computer, Hilscher's hardware and software are tightly coupled and work seamlessly together. Of course, the value to the customer is in the fact that once the protocol has been implemented on the hardware, 70 to 80% of the effort to implement a new protocol has already been done. Hilscher offers a full range of master and slave implementations, so a netX design is future-proofed against your product's future protocol requirements. All of Hilscher's products are based on the netX architecture and the netX semiconductors. These products include end users product like PC cards, gateways, test instruments, and IoT edge gateways, as well as products for the OEM, which include industrial network semiconductors and modules. All of this is based on the netX platform. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the netX architecture. The first product that was developed with the netX architecture was the netX 500 and later followed by the netX 100. The 100 and the 500 are master class devices. The difference between the two is that the netX 500 has some external graphics capabilities that the netX 100 does not have. These parts were followed very quickly by a slave class device called the netX 50. The netX 50 is based on the same architecture but has reduced resources to handle only slave applications. More recently, within the last 5 years, we're followed by another class of device called the netX 51 and the netX 52, and also the netX 10. The netX 51 and the netX 52 were very similar to the netX 50, but they were on newer technology and had better performance and better power dissipation. The netX 51 and the netX 52 were based on the same die, but had different pinouts to allow for some economic benefits in certain applications. All of these devices that you see here were companion chip devices. That is, they were made to work with an external host processor. This year, we've introduced a new product called the netX 90, and which is the subject of this video series. The netX 90 is like the netX 52 in that the architecture of the network controller is just the same as these. However, it also includes a host processor built right into the chip. This is a dedicated Cortex M4 that is available for the user's application. And it has a whole range of peripherals, which we'll talk about in a minute, that allow the application side to work just like an external host processor would. This is going to be followed very quickly by the netX 4000 and netX 4100 later on this year. These devices are master-class devices and will be in the same architecture. They will have their own host processor as the netX 90, but with much increased capabilities. For instance, the processors are Cortex A7s on these devices. Let's take a brief look at the architecture of the netX 90. As we mentioned, the netX 90 is based on 2 cores, both ARM Cortex M4 cores. This Cortex handles the communication side of the device. This core and the variety of peripherals around it make up the devices that do the communication. On the other side, this Cortex M4 is made available to the user and is totally dedicated to their task. Along with the Cortex M4 processing unit itself, there's a variety of peripherals that are made available. Also, there's a number of shared peripherals that can be used on either side of the part. Communication between the application side and the communication side is across an integrated dual port memory. This is a virtual dual port memory that allows the application side to control the communication side of the part. There will be a lot more discussion on the dual port memory in the future.